All right, so this is the story about the uncle who impregnated his niece, who was at the time, I think she was 15 at the time. And wow, yeah, she was 15 she actually had just made 15 at the time. She was 14. I think she turned 15 in September of 2018. And she was killed in December of 2018 when she was like 5.5 months pregnant. Now, the uncle here, who impregnated Iyana Sawyer, and he also assaulted Samaya Sawyer, who is Iyana's sister. So they're both sisters. I believe Samaya was 1 year younger than Iyana. So I think he assaulted her as early as age 13. So this guy, Johnathan, was married to Naomi Mobley. And the thing is, Naomi Mobley she would work all types of odd hours. They had a child, I think was 3 years old. And Iyana and Samaya's mother, Kimberly, also worked odd hours. So after school, they would go to their aunt's house, their aunt Naomi. Now, the thing is Iyana and Samaya's dad lived 5 minutes from the school. So I don't know why they didn't go to his house if the mom worked late. Maybe they had a different type of relationship. I don't know. And one of the key figures that helped convict Johnathan was his brother, Joseph Quiles. So I guess we'll start off with testimony from Samaya and see how this whole thing started. So let's get into the details.
Now, did your mom work full time?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that also why you would go to your Aunt Naomi and uncle and in your defendant's home? Is that also for the defendant to watch you?
Yes, ma'am.
And as you got older, though, were you also assisting with watching NQ?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I thought that would be kind of weird because the thing is they said they would go to their aunt's house so that the aunt could watch them. But the thing is that the dad, Willie Sawyer, stayed like 5 minutes away from the school.
And can you tell us the name of the apartments that you lived at that time, what they were called?
Azalea Ridge.
Okay, at the Azalea Ridge apartments, you searched around and talked to people to try and find out if IS had been there, if they'd seen her.
Yes.
Okay. Was that based on information that you received that she had been there?
Not really. I was just looking anywhere.
Did you ever?
The
Go ahead and finish.
The school is pretty much right by the apartment, so.
Okay, and you're within 5 minutes of the school, Terry Parker School.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's within 5 minutes of the school. I don't understand why the kids didn't go there if the mother had to work late. But I don't know. Maybe they didn't have a co-parenting agreement. Maybe they weren't getting along. I think he had 4 of the kids that he was a stepfather to at some point, I think. So maybe that played a big role in it. I don't know. But I do know one thing, that Uncle John, he liked to communicate via Snapchat. So let's see how he did his communication.
The defendant liked to communicate with you with a certain app.
Yes, ma'am.
And what app was that?
Snapchat.
And did the defendant like to talk to your sister with a certain app?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was that?
Snapchat.
Did the defendant ever tell you why he liked to talk to you and IS by Snapchat?
The message is erased.
Wow. So he liked to communicate with the sisters and say all kind of nasty, dirty little things via Snapchat because the messages weren't saved. I mean, I think you had to manually save those messages in order for them to stay. But that was one of the reasons why he communicated via Snapchat, because he was able to kind of cover his tracks, which is crazy. It's crazy because you would think that the wife knew that he was communicating with her nieces via Snapchat. And she didn't question that. I don't know why she didn't question that. Let's kind of hear what she had to say about that.
Yes, I found out that his primary way of communicating with them was via Snapchat.
What do you know about Snapchat if you do?
Well, what was made aware to me was that the messages in Snapchat would disappear on their own without you having to delete them.
All right. And I'm not asking you now looking back, but at that time, did that have caused you any concern or create any concern for you during that time?
At that time, it did not. I just figured that that was their way of communicating with their uncle.
I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. You got a husband that's communicating with your two nieces, 13 and 14. What the hell are they talking about? Why is he interacting with kids like that on Snapchat like that? Why is he interacting with your nieces like that? You're not saying anything. I don't know. But he tried that on somebody else. He tried that on their cousin. But the cousin got smart. The cousin went and told the dad what was going on. But the thing is, the cousin didn't. All right, so he tried to get their cousin to come over so he could show her how to put a condom on because she was a virgin. She didn't take him up on the offer, but she didn't tell her dad that he said that. But she did tell her dad about the other thing he said about trying to get her to come over there. Let's take a listen.
Can you tell us about that conversation involving a condom?
Right. It initially started with him asking, was I in a relationship, which I wasn't at the time. And he asked, was I a virgin? Had I had sexual intercourse with anybody at the time? And I told him that I had not yet done anything. And he had told me that if I wanted, I could come over. He could teach me how to apply a condom.
Wow. Show you how to put this. This guy was bold as hell to just call random family members, young women in the family, to see if he can seduce them. And he did it through Snapchat. I mean,
let me stop you there for just a second. And did you respond to these questions?
Yes, I was answering them as we went along.
I'm sorry, what?
I was answering his questions as we went along in the conversation.
Okay. And did he invite you over after this conversation?
Like immediately after, or just in general?
In general.
Yes, he did.
Okay, that's how you interpret it in general.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to make sure we do it how you felt and interpreted.
Right.
And did he say what the purpose for having you come over?
Are you speaking like immediately after the situation I'm referencing, or are you talking about another instance?
No, I'm talking about the condom situation.
No, he didn't invite me over immediately after that situation. This was a whole different situation.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, did the defendant want to teach you something?
Yes.
What did he want to teach you?
How to apply a condom.
And what did that mean to you?
Well, he didn't give me another object that was to be used, so I just assumed it would be done on him.
When you say done on him, meaning using his penis?
Yes, correct.
How did you feel about this conversation?
I felt definitely awkward and a little weird after we had that conversation.
And did you tell anybody?
No.
Did you eventually tell someone?
Yes.
Okay. And was it close in time to when this happened? That you told someone?
When what happened?
Regarding the condom and him saying he'd teach you about that?
No, ma'am.
And was there another time the defendant wanted you to come over?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that.
I was in band and I ended up having what they call a pseudo seizure. So I was bedridden for like a week or two. I stayed in my dad's house, and me and John had been messaging over Snapchat. He would check on me frequently to see if I was okay health-wise. And then one day he asked if I wanted to come over because my Aunt Naomi wasn't at home, and he would come pick me up in his van. Because I'd asked him, would Naomi be okay with that? He was like, well, she's not here. And I told him, I really didn't feel good. It wasn't really nothing that I could do. And he was like, well, it's fine. You could just come over here and rest, and I'll take care of you. And I just thought it was kind of weird because I kept telling him I was bedridden and really couldn't do anything.
And did you ultimately go over to the defendant's house?
No, I did not.
And is this when you had told somebody about this conversation?
Yes, I told my dad.
And after you told your dad, did the defendant and talk to you much after that?
Not really. I don't think I went around John too much after that.
I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure you didn't. Your dad was like, nah, if I see that, if I see his ass, I'm going to punch him in the nose. And Dad was probably heated. But it didn't stop there, right? Because the thing is, it seems like Snapchat was his tool to get to, to kind of make himself familiar with these younger women that are in the family, younger girls that are in the family. So he actually would get to a point where he would become so familiar with them where he would start to send dingling pictures. But he would start off by complimenting them first. He wouldn't just send it.
Before we get to the incidents, will the defendant ever compliment you?
Yes.
And what type of compliments would he give you?
Like compliment my body or tell me I was beautiful.
Can you talk, and I know this is tough, but yeah, can you get a little closer? We just want to make sure everyone can hear what you say, okay?
Yeah. He would compliment my body or tell me I'm beautiful.
Now, when you say compliment your body, what exactly do you mean by that?
Like my shape or, yeah.
Would that include the breast area?
Yes.
Would that include the buttocks area?
Yes.
Did you have any other uncles compliment you in that way?
No.
How did the compliments make you feel?
Like a little uncomfortable. Yeah.
Now, did the defendant like to talk to you when you were not at the residence of his and his ex-wife's Naomi Mobley?
Yes.
How did the defendant like to talk to you?
Through Snapchat.
And did the defendant tell you why he liked to speak with you by Snapchat?
Yes.
And why is that?
Because the message is erased.
Wow. Because the message is erased. So this dude was trying to cover his tracks. And ain't no telling who else he was communicating with via Snapchat. There's no telling. I mean, this dude was trying to smash everything. He was trying to smash the whole family. Oh, man. Not only did he occasionally send dingling pictures, this dude managed to get into arguments with these little 13-year-old girls as if he was in a full relationship via Snapchat. What they did is they did forensics on his phone and Iyana's phone, and they found all types of text messages. Check this out.
So 8/6/2018 at 1:38. It's not last minute nothing. Your aunt was talking about how much it costs to have.
Are you sure it's talking?
Your aunt was thinking about how much it costs to have all of you guys at the house. And I was the one saying, so what? Let them come because I wanted to spend time with you. Yesterday, you was acting crazy, so I gave you a little space. But today, you are not yourself, and it's bothering me. You always say GN first if you're up before me. Now you are so into your coloring that you have no time for me. What type of bullshit is that? So again, like I said, if you want space, I'll give you all that you want. But if you keep pushing me away, I'm going to stop fighting to be with you. And you, KOT, What would it matter anyways? You'll be booed up with the next dude when you go to school, just like before. No, my bad. A bunch of dudes in your face. Now I leave you to your own fucking painting.
There's no, right?
He got mad because she was coloring. She's a kid. She's a kid. She colors. This dude, he was trying to have a full relationship with this little girl. A full relationship. So he was trying to have a relationship so much that he told her that I'm going to divorce you.
8/7/2018, 5:30. I'm divorcing you. At least I'll be able to sleep knowing I'm not going to be cheated on by you. I hate that we can't be straight up with each other. I will take you all home tomorrow.
And next, please.
And it just goes on. This dude even got jealous because he thought that Iyana was flirting with his son, who happens to be around the same age as Iyana. His son's name is Lil Jaco.
8/7/2018, 1:11. Take care. I'm not going to talk to you as much anymore, if any. I hope it was all worth it. FYI, your mom and aunts noticed that your little self is all in Jaco's face, and all of a sudden you now want to start dancing when he's there with just a shirt on, but I'm bugging though.
And through your
He got jealous because she started dancing around his son. This dude is sick. This dude is sick. Then he got real vulgar.
8/7/2018, 5:49. You know what I'm going to give you? Your last piece of dick in the AM and cut all ties with you completely.
This dude ain't no denying he was assaulting this little girl. Just off the text messages alone, they could have just wrapped this up, been like, your ass is out of here. We know you did this. He didn't even stop there though. He was telling her things like, I'm gonna leave my wife for you.
8/7/2018, 5:56. Your aunt and I was getting a divorce, and you and I, once you hit 18, was going to break out.
And could you please read the next?
The assault of Iyana and her sister lasted from the later part of 2017 all the way up until 2018. Now, in March of 2018, or sometime before that, Iyana found out that her uncle Johnathan had also been assaulting her sister, because Iyana was actually in love with her uncle. And when she found out, Samaya said she was hurt. And what Iyana did is she slept with another guy to get even with her uncle. And this guy's name was Kumar Humphrey. Let's take a listen to that.
Were you in love with the defendant like your sister IS thought she was?
Your Honor, argumentative and speculative.
I was asking her.
I understand the
Oh, I'm sorry.
overruled.
No.
And did your sister find out what had happened to you?
Yes.
Did it hurt your sister?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
Basis and
Speculation.
ruled.
And you already answered, so we'll just move on. And one of my last questions for you, ma'am. After finding out what the defendant had done to you, is that why IS had sex with Kumar Humphrey?
Yes.
Was it revenge?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
There you go. So, oh man, this is just a mess. These girls are 13, 14 years old going through this. And everybody out there can remember when they were young and how they felt with their first love. It was absolutely devastating. And for this little girl to go through this experience with this grown-ass dude that stole her innocence, it's messed up. It's real messed up. And not only did he do it to Iyana, he did it to Samaya too. That affected both of them girls. They thought they were in love. Well, anyway, so with this thing, so when Iyana had this thing with this guy, Kumar Humphrey, Kumar was 20 years old. And at the time, I think Iyana was probably 15 or 16, 15, 16. I think she was 15. And her mother found out. Oh, and she was pissed. So her mother called the police and she tried to have the dude arrested. She filed a police report. They did a sexual assault kit on Iyana, and they took some DNA samples. So they got Kumar's DNA and they got somebody else's DNA, but they didn't know whose it was because it wasn't in the bank. It wasn't in the DNA bank. But we're going to find out whose DNA that was in just a minute.
During also this time frame that you are speaking with the defendant, did you ask for his DNA?
I did.
And was he willing to provide it?
He was.
And was that DNA taken?
Yes.
And at that time, was the DNA taken based upon learning about a sexual assault allegation?
Yes.
You stated that you had put a rush into the defendant's DNA without it gone to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement?
Yes.
And based upon that rush, when did you receive those results?
Pretty quick. It came back January 7th, 2019.
So 5 days.
5 days.
They actually ran it against that DNA that was collected back in March of 2018, and it came up as a match. And that's how they knew that he had been intimate for sure with Iyana.
Did those results involving that the defendant's DNA was found on some underwear in a sexual assault kit?
Yes.
But to tell you how the universe works and how the spiritual realm works, don't you know that the same day he asked for that DNA, that he got a call from Jonathan's brother wanting to confess, or wanting not to confess, but to tell him something about what Jonathan told him?
So moving forward to the next day of January 8th, 2019, were you coming in to do some follow-up and based upon those DNA results?
Yes.
However, did you get some further information?
I did.
And did somebody call in with some information?
Yes.
Who?
Johnathan Quiles.
Now, who told you about, and don't go into what the statements are, but how did you find out about this phone call?
I was notified around 9 a.m. by Detective Porter that
Wow. His brother called to give him more information. So after the DNA results came back, they arrested the shit out of his ass.
Now, Detective Abbott, on January 8th, 2019, was the defendant arrested?
Yes.
Okay. And did you speak with the defendant?
I did.
Now, even after they confronted him with the positive results, this dude still denied having anything to do with it.
Did the defendant still deny knowing anything? Did the defendant deny knowing anything about IS's disappearance?
He did.
And did you confront the defendant about the DNA found on the crotch area of the panties?
Yes.
What was the defendant's response?
He said there's no way, and he thought we were making it up and lying to him.
And the thing is, he tried to tell his wife that same damn lie.
He tried to give me an explanation as to how his DNA could possibly get in my niece's underwear via our wash machine. After he told me that, I then asked him, tell me the truth. What happened? Tell me the truth.
What was his response?
His response to me was, I want to tell you the truth, but the people listening will take it the wrong way.
This ain't no damn Snapchat in the prison, man. You can't delete that. He tried to do Snapchat with sound? Goofy ass. But the police were smart, though. Not only did they have DNA, but they also had text messages that came from his brother.
And this is January 8th, 2019, to Joe. You can't even talk to me, really. I never did anything to that girl, and now you put me through this, and you call me your brother. You're right. After this is over, I'm all the way done with you. You're a real piece of shit for what you've done.
Okay.
And this is from Joe on January 8th, 2019. I can't talk to you right now. I have to stay firm on my decision. What you told me isn't a joke or something.
Make sure you say the exact words, please, for the record.
Okay. What you told me isn't some joke or something you like about. So yes, I told the police because they need to know. If you was lying, then you will be cleared and free. But if you wasn't, then you won't. I'm sorry I have to do the right thing for that girl and her family, not the right thing for you and your selfishness. I hate to lose you, but I'd rather that girl's family have some peace. If you're innocent, then you don't need to worry they won't find her body. But if you're not, they are going to find her. And in that case, I've already lost my brother. I'm sorry.
Wow. But to steal the deal, once they had him locked up and in custody, they put a wire on it. They put a wire on an inmate and sent that inmate into that cell with him to get him to talk and incriminate himself. And guess what? He did.
He cannot. This why would you go to sleep? He told me, he says, oh, I can't sleep at night and all this here little bullshit. And I'm like, wait, hold on, nigga, you could have been called me and shit, and I'd have put that shit to rest, nigga. I ain't had nothing to do with that, that girl disappearing or whatever. And he's like, the right thing to do is to just, talk to the police. And I said, right thing to do, nigga, is keep your fucking mouth shut. Definitely, right. And sure enough, he sent me a text like, look, if you're innocent, you don't have nothing to worry about. If you're guilty, you get what you deserve. Okay, now sorry though. Now without you.
Wow. He said, if you innocent, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But if you guilty, then you gonna get what you deserve. His brother wasn't having none of that. He said, I ain't supporting none of that trash. He said, I ain't doing it. But then the inmate asked him if he told his brother about killing Iyana before or after. So he basically said, did you tell your brother before or after you killed her? When did you tell him, before or after? And here's what he said.
Did you tell your brother before you did or after you did? No. This was after the fact that she was missing. You think the nigga look out for you because of your blood? That's crazy. That nigga's supposed to go to the bathroom, not.
They gassing him up. They just gassing him up, getting him to talk. That's crazy. They straight gassing him up. And then he said, Uncle John said that the police weren't even thinking about him until his brother told them.
They weren't even thinking about me. You know what I'm saying? You were never labeled as a suspect. That's right. It's just a cooperator person, you know what I'm saying?
So you did good by getting rid of the body and all that.
No, my thing is, when did she go missing?
Them damn jailhouse attorneys. They just sinking his ass further and further down. They were there speculating in every damn thing. But then he gave details of what happened to Iyana after she left the school.
After school, she broke out after lunch, and she had 2 bags on her. You know, that was with the surveillance camera recorder. What school she went to? Terry Parker. Oh, she went to TV? Yeah, so.
That's crazy. He said exactly what she had. He tried to use his job as an alibi too. Didn't work though.
My job was like, nah, this nigga, because when they first questioned me, my job has me there at the job all day. You know what I'm saying? They got me on camera. I haven't done nothing. So that's what they was, when in the interview they were talking about who brought her to you. You know what I'm saying? Who brought her to you? I'm like, what time you can see in the camera, what time do I got to even motherfucking be around this bitch?
He called her a bitch. Wow. Why did he call that little girl that? But one of the inmates asked him, they said, why'd you kill her? Here's what he said.
So if you didn't think she was gonna tell, why did you fucking kill her though? If you didn't think she was gonna tell, or you just felt like it was gonna hit the fan and later on.
Right. I don't give a fuck. He did right.
She would. I understand that.
That's the same shit happened to my shit.
Right.
Same shit.
I understand.
See, he asked her, why'd you have to kill her? He didn't respond with, man, I didn't even do it. He didn't respond anything to rebuke that. He's like, he just didn't say anything. Silence is acquiescence. Is that, did I say that right? Acquiesce. It's an act in there somewhere. But these inmates, they really played their roles. Listen to what they say, and then think about what they doing when he said it, and you're going to crack up. Listen to this.
You should have told your brother shit. You should have just went to New York and killed him. Fuck a bitch. You're a bitch. Real. And your brother feel like somebody you can trust. That's why we in this bitch now, because of pussy ass niggas can't hold their motherfucking water.
Y'all the pussy ass niggas is telling. That's crazy. So anyway, he was found guilty of assaulting Samaya and Iyana, and he was found guilty of murder as well. He's facing the death penalty, and I think they're going to have sentencing on Monday or sometime next week in September. I think around the 25th, the week of the 25th of September. And I guess we'll see what happens from there. But that's all I got. Later.